Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about every single book I read in the month of April. I really love this month. I thought that I read a lot of different genres, and even though most of them weren't very highly rated by me, I still had a good time. And I have a computer here for my Goodreads ratings, just so I know what I actually thought about the book if I don't remember. And then I also have my reading journal for more in-depth thoughts with different quotes that I liked and stuff like that. But we're gonna start right with the first book I read this month, which was the continuation of the Little Chronicle series. This is Scarlet, book 2 by Marissa Meyer. I like this one a lot more than Cinder, but not as much as the next book, which I will talk about in a little bit. I love this book so much still. I don't love the characters, but I did like the characters in this book more than Cinder. I gave this book a 4 stars. Cinder was a 3.5, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, if you don't know what this series is about, it's basically about these different fairy tales. So this one is Red Riding Hood, the first one was Cinderella, the third one is Rapunzel, and then the fourth one, I'm pretty sure, is Snow White. I haven't read this one yet, but yeah. And basically these characters have like different things that make them special. So the first book, Cinder, she was like half cyborg. So, you know, it's just a different type of world that we're used to. It's like years and years in the future. It's just very advanced, and the world is so magical, and I love it so much. And there's just like one of our characters are in a satellite. So random topics, but Marissa really knows what she's doing because it's always so entertaining. And even though these books are thick, they just fly by and it's so much fun. I really love her writing, and the characters obviously always so good. And then I decided to jump in right to the third book, which is Crest. This is in the same series by Marissa Meyer. I gave this one a 4.75 stars. I loved this one. I think these are my favorite characters so far. I just love Crest and I love Thorn, and it's so good. There's so many scenes in this book and so many different plot lines that we're getting. It's just like, wow, okay, wow. We're following so many different characters now from the other books, and it's just like amazing. Yeah, again, it's like 500 pages, but I feel like it's so worth it. Writing is just so good, and I always find myself just enjoying her writing, the characters, the world. All of it combined is just an amazing series. Next, I read a sci-fi book by Fonda Lee. This is Crossfire. This is the second book in the EXO. I'll put the first book on the screen here, but I really liked the first one. I gave it 3 stars, the first book in the series, and I gave the second book a 3 stars as well. I liked both of them, but I just wasn't falling in love with the characters or the world and like the politics and stuff. I was a little confused with the politics part of this world. And honestly, I remember a lot more from the first book than the second book for some reason. But if you don't know what this world is about, it's basically we're on Earth, but there are kind of these human beings that they have like alien functions. So like they have what is called an exo, which basically makes them super strong, super just like intelligent, and have like these like an alien type of body almost. It's so confusing, I know. And I don't know, it's just like if you want a different like sci-fi world that is just like different, I guess I would recommend this one. I didn't love it as much as I thought I would. I definitely have loved other sci-fi books better than this one, but it's a quick and fast-paced duology, not very long books at all, a little bit over 300 pages for both of these books, and it's just like a good duology. I don't love it, I don't hate it, I'm just right in the middle. 3-star series. I read the book of the month book for my friends that we have going, this little book club, but I Hope This Doesn't Find You by Anna Lang. This is a YA romance, and I liked it. I think I gave it 4 stars. I really did like this one. Very cheesy, very YA, but just so easy and fun to fly through. It reminds me a lot of the book that I read later in the month. We follow our main character, Sadie. She goes to the school. She's super smart, okay? She's like the top of her class, except this one boy. Academic rivals type of situation, and I really liked it. I thought that the atmosphere was really cool. But basically how Sadie kind of likes to keep in her anger, she likes to write hate emails to the kids that are mean to her, or if something happened to her when she was really young, she's like, I'm gonna write this hate email, but then never send it. It's like a little odd way to handle your feelings, but it's okay. We accept that. So that is what she has been doing for years and years and years, until one day they got sent out. They got sent out. I don't know how that happened. Well, you'll have to read that. And she has no idea how that gets sent out. She was just like confused. And a lot of those emails were to Julian, which is the main boy character in this story. So that just unleashes madness, honestly, and we just get to follow that whole situation that she's in. And 4 stars. I do actually really recommend this one for an easy palette cleanser. This book. Okay, so I read The Wind Knows My Name by Isabel Adine. That could be so wrong, I'm sorry, but this book I gave a 2 stars, okay, because I remember nothing. It's a historical fiction, I know that much. The summary doesn't even make any sense to me because I don't remember anything from this book. I'm not even joking right now. I know it's a historical fiction. I know that I didn't love it. I kind of skimmed read it for most of it just because I wasn't loving the characters or the setting or literally anything about this book. The only thing I liked about it was the writing sometimes was good. So yeah, I don't actually really recommend. I have read other historical fictions and loved them. This one was just not it for me personally, I'm sorry. Then we read a new release that was out this month, and it is the Reappearance of Rachel Price by Hallie Jackson. I won't be saying too much about this book because I do have a reading vlog. I will link that down below if you want to go watch that. I talk about a lot of my feelings in this book, and why I gave it 3.5 stars, okay? I loved A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series so much with my whole heart. 5-star series overall. This book just didn't live up to the expectation. I talked so much about that in that video, so please watch that if you want my full thoughts about this. It took me longer to read than I thought it would. I thought it was very slow, and I thought that our main character, Belle, was just doing things that didn't need to happen, and some of the things that she was doing was just pointless. But this story is based on a disappearance of Belle's mother. So Belle's mom went missing when she was around 2 years old. She reappeared, and you know, it's just following that storyline of how where the mother was, why is she back now, she's like, what's happening. I mean, obviously it's not a spoiler because it's literally the reappearance. So, and we're just following that storyline. And what's also happening at the same time, which is like so crazy, is that now this random group of people, I think they're from like England, I honestly don't know, it's so odd, they want to do a documentary about Rachel Price and her disappearance to kind of remember her by, because the police obviously gave up a while ago. So yeah, if that sounds interesting, please read it. Just wasn't my favorite by her, definitely my least favorite. Sorry, not sorry. Okay, then I read City and Fallen Angels by Cassandra Clare. This is the fourth book in the Mortal Instruments series. This series is just so YA and so just like dystopian, and you know, I had a fun time reading it. Don't get me wrong, I had a great time reading it, thought it was great. Was it better than some of the other books in the series? Probably not. I feel like it keeps getting worse and worse as we go on. I feel like I've talked about this series so much in the past recent months, so I won't get into it very much, but we basically follow, I'm not going to say anything about this specific book because it is the 4th book in the series, so I'm just going to state kind of what the series is about. So we follow our main character, Clary. She is kind of she's a normal girl. She's just normal until one day we find out that she actually is a shadow hunter, which is kind of like this person that kills demons and other like downworlders, so like vampires and werewolves and stuff like that. And yeah, so that's where we get sent off into this world. Miss Cassandra Clare. I hope they get better from here because this was not very good. You know, I did like that we got Simon's POV a lot more in this book, which is a character that I absolutely love. I just want to get into some of her other books, like more of her recent series. I'm just kind of reading this to get into the world. Then I continued another series. So this is the second book in the Edgewood series. This is Wanderlust by Karen McQuestion. I actually really like the first book. Okay, so the first book, Edgewood, I gave that book a 3 stars. I thought it was really good. I liked the set of characters and where the story was kind of how the world was introduced to us and all the different components. And I really loved this one. I thought that the storyline we went on was so good. I love little bits of romance here and there, but I love the powers aspect of it, the journey that they went on together, and just the found family almost, even though there's lots of drama still. But yeah, I gave this book a 4 stars. I actually really like the series so far. I'm pretty sure there's 4 books. And yeah, it's just like this sci-fi world with powers and found family, and I don't know, I just really love it so far. I'm so excited to continue this series, honestly. So highly recommend this series so far. Okay, next I read To All the Boys I Loved Before by Jenny Hong. This is the same author as The Summer I Turned Pretty, and I actually really like this one. I thought it was kind of strange and cheesy at some times, but I did like it. I gave it a 4 stars. It reminded me a lot of this book, even though this was emails and this is letters, except this is hate, this is love. Does that make any sense? So following Laura Jane in this book, and what is happening is that her sister is going off to college and she's sad, obviously, but somehow these love letters that she's written get sent out to the boys that she wrote them about. And what happens is that these are not like regular love letters, okay? These are letters like kind of saying, I'm done with you. I really liked you before, but now I've just kind of grown up. I'm done with you now. Somehow those letters get sent out, okay? And how did I forget this was a series halfway through this book? But this is a trilogy, as of course it is. I did paint the cover because I thought it'd be fun. So I put love letters on it. And yeah, that's the premise of this book. I'm actually really just happy about that I started a Jenny Hong book, and I actually really liked it. It was cheesy at times, but I just kind of accepted that as we went on, and I liked it. You know, I'm excited to continue the series. I actually read a book on my Kindle. I'll put the picture up on the screen. This is called The Gal by Lo Meyer. This is a series that was started a few years ago. Honestly, I don't know when the next book is coming out. I gave it 3.5 stars. I really like this book. Basically, this book is about, so basically we follow our main character, Jayceline, and she's the heir to her kingdom. Okay, so she's the princess, and so somehow she gets kidnapped and gets taken to the rival kind of kingdom. Far away, there's another kingdom called the Gal, and she gets taken there as a prisoner. She somehow starts working at the palace, and stuff happens. Honestly, it's kind of crazy what happens. There's only less than 1,000 ratings on this book in Goodreads. She's a servant. She has these chores, and I feel like we just talked so much about them and did so many of them that it was like, what is happening? And then once this romance starts happening, it's like, I feel like we got some information, but then they would take it off. They would like take out a big chunk of the book where they would actually talk about stuff and get to know each other, and then they would skip and then be like, I'm in love with you. Hello? You guys just met each other, rival kingdoms. He doesn't know it though. Plot twist. Just a whole lot of drama, and I feel like we could have at least either changed some of the chore scenes and made them into different scenes about different topics, like politics. More politics always helps, because honestly I was confused half the book about the politics and like what was actually going on. And the princess doesn't know half of the stuff that goes around in her kingdom. This book was honestly just so chaotic, but I will read the next book when it comes out, whenever that is. Honestly don't know. Anne of Green Gables by M.L. Montgomery. This is obviously such a classic. I feel like I just love the movie so much, and I feel like the book was pretty similar to the movie. And I'm excited to continue the series, honestly, because you guys know I love the characters, love the world, love that just her writing as well is amazing. But in this copy I actually have pictures, and I was so in love with them. Like, look at that. When I'm reading these and then I get to a picture and I'm like, yes, I love it so much. It just felt so sentimental to be in this world with the characters. I just love the movie so much, and I thought it was so good. Okay, I feel like I don't have to explain what this is about because it's Anne of Green Gables, people. So good. Okay, highly recommend, movies and book. So good so far, cannot wait to continue. I gave Anne of Green Gables a 4 stars, loved it obviously, so fun, and just loved being in the world with the characters. And I read Trust of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson, my first Brandon Sanderson book, and it did not disappoint. I absolutely loved this book, okay? It gave me very similar vibes to Fable. It is a kind of a fantasy like pirate book, so if you like that one, definitely read this one, or if you like this one, definitely read that one. I gave this book a 4.5 stars. There was so much stuff in this book that I loved. I loved the beginning little chunk about the island that she was on and her little romance that was happening. It was so cute. And then this whole book was just about pirates and the sea, and this whole world was just so special to me. And what made this book really special was that there was kind of like these spores. They were kind of like these spiky round objects, I would say. At least that's how I pictured them. And they would fall from the sky, like, and it would eat through any wet surface. So if you were sweating or if there was water nearby, it'd kill around that area. And that was a little scary at times, but I loved our main character. She was so just different from the rest of characters I've ever read about, but her name is Crest. She's only ever been on this island her whole life until one day the love of her life goes sailing off sea because he is actually the Duke's son, and he has to go and find a wife because the Duke says so. And he's just like, no worries, Tress. I will not marry any of these women. I will make them hate me. I will make them dislike me. I will do anything to have you. And it was so good, okay? And eventually he doesn't come back. He's actually trapped and she needs to go save him. So yeah, I really adored this book so much. I gave it a 4.5 stars and I really loved it. It was just like a cozy, but sometimes there was some stakes. Plot twist, I did not guess at all. The only thing I didn't really like about this book was sometimes it'd be a little boring and a little slow paced, and I just didn't get that 5-star feeling like I do when I have a 5-star book. But it's okay, I really do recommend this book so much. Then, kind of random, also a 2-star book, I read Cheaper by the Dozen by Stephen Martin. This book was definitely different than the movie by far. I don't know what I was really expecting about this book. I mean, no, I was kind of expecting the same thing but in book form of the movie, and I love the movie so much. I thought the plot line of that movie was so amazing. This one was just like really old-fashioned, and I didn't really like some of the plot points that this book had and some of the conversations that were had, but I did like the writing and I did like some of the characters. I just thought wasn't at all what I was expecting. 2 stars. Now for the book I'm currently reading is Define the Night by Bridge Kimberly. I'm not very far into this book at all, but I'm really liking it so far. I'm not going to tell you anything about it yet because honestly I don't really know. I'm only like 50 pages in, so I can't really tell you much right now. But I will have it in my May wrap up to just like tell you more about this book because honestly I don't really know what's going on yet. So these are all the books that I read in April. This is honestly crazy that I read this much. Wasn't expecting to read this much this month, but I really did have a good reading month. Not anything extravagantly good, but if I had to say read one of these books, I would definitely say read Trust of the Emerald Sea. Literally so amazing. If I had any book that I would really recommend to skip was either The Wind Knows My Name or Cheaper by the Dozen. Did not really love those books. If you liked this video, if you did, of course, like and subscribe. Comment down below what you read in April. I'm so excited to read your comments about what you read. I'll see you guys in a different video. I love you guys so much. Bye!